Oh, welcome to the party, pal. You're from the neighborhood Master Chaos, back with you once again for another physical media review roundup. This would be kind of a different physical media review roundup, but we're not going to be going out and about today. Well, for a couple reasons. One of them, I don't know if you can see from the camera to the screen if it reads, I'm waiting to get Disney tickets. Now, me and my family are big Disney fans, and so I'm sort of stalking the reservation page. I did manage to buy tickets through AAA at a discount. By the way, you can get discount tickets on AAA. Highly recommend doing that. That way you get the tickets out of the way, but you still have to make a online queue for reservations because you have to reserve the day. Two separate things: buying a ticket and reserving the day. Man, I think that's new. Well, no, I guess it wouldn't be new. Whatever. It's a thing that you have to do to go to Disneyland. The kids want to go to Disney. I want to take them to Disney. So this is what I got to do. While I'm waiting to hopefully buy tickets today sometime, it's been saying more than an hour since 7 a.m. this morning. Currently, it is 1:30 p.m. So I'm stuck here trying to figure this out for my family. Also, the other reason we're not going to go out and about today is I'm going to be honest with you guys, because part of the fun of this channel and part of the thing that I think makes it different is that I bring you into my life and I show you my day-to-day some of the times. And I'm not just showing you physical media or talking about random things, but I want you to feel like you're part of the family, part of the gang. I don't know what it is, but I'm sick. I'm feeling sick. It's not COVID related. I guess sick is the wrong word. I'm having stomach pains, and essentially I'm just not feeling well. I just made a doctor's appointment for this coming Monday to see what the hell it is. My mind's going all over the place. It's fluctuating between, is it appendicitis? Is it a hernia? I've had hernias in the past. I don't know. It's worrisome, and what's preventing me from really going out and about and providing a visually stimulating episode. So, fortunately, I won't be able to provide that today, but we're still going to be reviewing a fat stack of movies. Oh, yeah, and to make it up to you, on YouTube specifically, because YouTube, you only get half the episodes usually. The other half goes to Patreon. Instead of doing 3, I'm going to do 4 titles today. But the last 2, and possibly the best 2, are going to be Patreon only titles. So if you want to go on over to Patreon, you get to see all the uncut episodes here on Mastercast TV. Okay, let's get into it. Enough of the discussion. I'm still not in the waiting room, so we can talk about it. We have time to discuss The Invisible Man Appears. This was sent to me by the lovely people at MVD to review on behalf of Arrow Films. And I am so happy they sent this to me. Honestly, I would have bought it because I really wanted to get this. What you have here is a double feature. You get The Invisible Man Appears and The Invisible Man versus the Human Fly. You get a double feature. Get this. 1940s black and white Japanese Invisible Man movies. What the hell? Did you know that this was a thing? I didn't. I certainly didn't. But now I do. This beautiful, beautiful release comes packaged thusly. You get the one disc. You get some kind of advertisement for Sailor Suit and Machine Gun. I'm not sure if that's a movie coming out or what. Never heard of it. You get an amazing little booklet here, which gets stuck there. Let me put this somewhere safely. By the way, you're getting to see the reverse of the usual set. Usually you've got the camera pointed here, aiming at me, and the lights and all that. So I thought I'd give you a little different look of everything. You get a really lovely, thick booklet here. All the writings and all the things you need to know about these movies. And Eiji Tsuburaya was the special effects guy. He went on to do Godzilla, so you should know him. It's about 40-page. Where's the thing? 40-page booklet, all about these movies. You get a reversible slip, so you get to pick which movie you like. I didn't like the second one, so I'm going to keep it on Invisible Man Appears. So what are the movies about? Okay, give you a brief sketch of what the movies are about. The Invisible Man Appears is probably the best Invisible Man movie ever made. Now, that's probably saying a lot, but I'm not a big fan of the original one. With Claude Rains, I didn't think it was very strong. You barely see the Invisible Man. Obviously, the Vincent Price one, the sequel's a lot better, and they get better and better as they go along. They become more action movies, right? Invisible Man appears. He's invisible the whole time. It's almost nonstop invisible action. Basically, a scientist has developed this serum. Some jewel thieves want to use it to steal this rare necklace that's worth like $8 million or something. And it's essentially a crime, caper, jewelry heist movie with some twists and turns. It is a rocking good time. It's about 82 minutes. Highly recommend Invisible Man Appears. I think, in all honesty, it outdoes the Universal Invisible Man movies. All of them in one movie. And that goes to speak to the fact that it's from 1949. Yeah, it's from 1949, so technically it's a 50s sci-fi movie and not a 30s gothic horror movie, but still, I think it's probably the best Invisible Man movie I've seen. I loved it that much. I think it's a really good movie. That's why I was so disappointed with The Invisible Man versus the Human Fly, which doesn't have a year on it. If it does, I can't find it. Doesn't matter. It was made right after, maybe even 1949 as well. Invisible Man versus the Human Fly. Different characters, whole new setting, whole new story. Not the same Invisible Man, not the same scientists, whole new scientists. As a matter of fact, it's barely about an Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is just sort of like an afterthought. There's a criminal called the Human Fly, at least that's what they're calling him, who is, basically he's Japanese Ant-Man. He's able to shrink down and fly around somehow and kill people. There's a connection to why he's killing people and why he's knocking these people off. And the cops decide to use invisibility technology to try and catch the Invisible Fly. That's it. And they kind of don't really... It's never really an Invisible Man versus the Human Fly. They never really battle it out in any kind of way. And it's mostly a police procedural. That's why I was disappointed. You don't really get any science... you don't really get some heavy science fiction. You don't really get a lot of Invisible Man action. Almost zero Invisible Man action. It's mostly this weird little guy who shrinks to a fly and you see him flying around, and it's kind of goofy. But you got a lot of kills in the movie. It's definitely much more violent than Invisible Man Appears. But to me, as an Invisible Man movie, it just doesn't work as well. So Invisible Man Appears gets 5 stars. Invisible Man versus the Human Fly, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I didn't hate it, but I did not love it. However, should you get this? Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying that because they sent it to me for free. You know me better than that. You know I'm honest. Not that anyone else who gets screeners isn't. I'm just saying. I think you should get it if you love a black and white suspense, horror, sci-fi movies. Especially if you're a Japanese movie fan, this belongs to your collection. If you're an Invisible Man fan, Universal Monsters fan, this belongs to your collection as well. Enough said on that. Get it. Invisible Man Appears and The Invisible Man versus the Human Fly. Kinda. Ooh, did you like that? That's what I'm going to do in between all the reviews, just so, it makes up for the fact that we're not going out and about and exploring stores today. So I hope you'll enjoy those little interstitials before we get to the next review, which we'll do now. Still waiting. I've waited a long time to get this on Blu-ray. Problem Child. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you've never seen Problem Child, do yourself a goddamn favor and pick this up. I found it on Amazon for like $9, $12. I didn't realize it was out on Blu-ray. I had no idea this was out on Blu-ray. Problem Child starring the amazing John Ritter and I'm blanking on the name. Gilbert Gottfried, Michael Richards, and who's the kid? I never knew his name. What was his name? Michael Oliver, and of course Amy Yazbek. Who returns in the second one amazingly as the new mom. Fantastic. Anyway, this is such a good movie. This was a movie I remember watching on repeat, right along with Monster Squad and Beverly Hills Cop and all those movies over and over and over and over again. I love Problem Child so much. And I was happy to introduce this to my kids And I'm happy to report they loved it. They loved it. They thought it was so great. And that makes me happy. That really makes me happy. And you know what? It still holds up. It still holds up. The jokes are still funny. The pacing is great. The Michael Oliver as Junior is fantastic. John Ritter is just amazing. This is a career making. I mean, he had a career at the time, but this is a performance best for him. He's going to be forever known as Junior's dad, or the guy who died in Bride of Chucky, but Junior's dad. Problem Child here on Blu-ray. No special features, unfortunately, and nothing in here of note. I believe this was actually maybe a Canadian release, because the back has some weird writing on it, but it is Region A, right? It doesn't say it here. As far as I know, it played normally on my PS4, so it's good to go. Problem Child here on Blu-ray. This is not really a review on the physical medium, although it's more an appreciation of that the movie exists, and that, just a reminder, Problem Child is out there and you have to get it. It's on Blu-ray if you did not know. Highly recommend Problem Child. I love this movie so very much. I'll be reviewing part 2 pretty soon, so stay tuned for that one. Well, according to Twitter, it looks like opening day has officially sold out. It took 5.5 hours for that to happen. For the people that got in and are going to be there for opening day, congratulations. I know I wasn't going to make it for opening day. I wasn't trying for opening day. We're hoping to go in June after school ends, like celebrate the beginning of summer, the goodbye of the weirdest school year of all time. Still waiting. Let's talk Charles Bronson. Breakheart Pass. This movie's badass. Like how I did that? I literally did not plan that. It's just the poetry of the moment. Just, vomits up all over the place. I love it. Charles Bronson's Breakheart Pass. So good. Directed by, it's a name I didn't recognize. Tom Grise. I don't remember Tom Grise. Written by Alistair MacLean, based on his book. I love MacLean novels. Charles Bronson here plays, I don't know if I should give it away. Basically, he's an outlaw who's been arrested. He's being put on this train. It's a troop transport that's going to this is back in the, what year does it say? Like 1800s, it's got to be. It's a long time ago. He's being put on a train, transporting soldiers to a base, a fort that's apparently come down with some kind of disease, syphilis or diphtheria, I forget what they say. And the troops are going to replace the sick troops, and there's medicine on board and things like that. Well, there's also a killer on board and some mysterious shenanigans going on. And Charles Bronson basically puts on his detective hat to solve the crime, and it turns into like a really epic action movie set on a train. As a matter of fact, this is such a badass epic movie. This is probably my favorite train movie ever. I know what you're saying. MC, well, what about Under Siege 2, Dark Territory? They're close. They're neck and neck. But I think I like Breakheart Pass a little better. It is so much fun. Charles Bronson is so much fun. He's so cool. And action-packed. Literally action-packed. But what it's not packed with is special features. Nothing in here. You do get a booklet of advertisements for other Kino titles. Still some nice little posters here. But, no reversible, no special features whatsoever. This is from 1975. It runs 95 minutes. I cannot say enough nice things about Breakheart Pass. Great action, great pacing, great cast. You got Ed Lauder, Jill Ireland, of course. He always puts his wife in everything. Charles Durning, and Richard Crenna. Whoa, Richard Crenna is badass in this movie. So good. So intense. It's don't go in expecting, super, 90s, 2000s era action. This is from 1975. Before the time, this is essentially Die Hard on a Train. And it's so good and so believable compared to shit like Under Siege 2, which I consider one of his best movies. Yeah, Breakheart Pass. I can't wait to rewatch this. So good. Highly recommend this from Kino. Wait for a sale. I think I picked this up for less than $10. It's worth it. You gotta watch it. Oh yeah, people are pissed. And rightly so. We've been waiting a while, and we know we can't refresh. We can't do anything because it says if you refresh, you're gonna get kicked out of the queue, the waiting queue. And I'm always doing this for my children, and I'm also not feeling great, so it's kind of okay to just sit here. I've got a hot pack on, talking movies with you, pal. Here's your extra one for YouTube. The Golden Child. This is number 11. I didn't realize they were numbering them. Number 11 in the Paramount Selects line. Check this out. Opens up like that. That's kind of dumb. I don't understand the packaging here. Like, what am I gonna? Why would I ever do this? Why would I ever want to look at, like, I thought there was one. I think Universal had one like this, but it was an info on the movie, like, movie facts. Like, oh, like I think they had a Jaws one where you open it up and it was like, oh, the shark was only working for 10 days out of the whole shooting schedule or something like that. But this is kind of dumb. That's stupid. Or you want me to put that on my wall? Like, I don't get that. I really don't get that. Anyway, The Golden Child. I don't think I have to tell you what this movie's about, but I'm going to give you a refresher. Eddie Murphy kicks ass. This is a Michael Ritchie movie. He also directed the movie Smile that Fun City Editions is putting out. That's their April release. I wasn't going to get it. I had no idea what Smile was about. Then I watched this and I saw Michael Ritchie and I'm like, Michael Ritchie? Why does that name sound familiar? Then I realized, oh, he directed Smile. So I looked it up. He also did the Fletch movies and Bad News Bears. Holy shit. I could not have snatched up Smile any faster. He's done some of my favorite comedies. Of course I think I'm going to like Smile. I'm happy that that's out. Anyway, we're talking Golden Child. Number 11. This is one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies. I remember watching this one, just like Palm Child, over and over and over again. In it, he plays Chandler Gerald. Let me get rid of this little situation right here. He plays Chandler Gerald. He searches for lost children, and he's been hired to look for the Golden Child, essentially the Dalai Lama with magic powers that can save the world. And of course, it takes him all the way to Tibet, where he has to go on an Indiana Jones type quest to get a special dagger to trade for the boy and fight a demon, also ridiculously named Sardo Numspa. Sardo Numspa, played by I'm blanking on the name. I am blanking on the name. Charles Dance. Charles Dance, who is, of course, the patriarch of the Game of Thrones family. Now, Lannisters. He's the patriarch of the Lannisters. Died on a shitter. Spoiler alert. The Golden Child is such a fun movie. It was essentially, for me, I was a big Axel Foley fan. So essentially, Axel Foley teams up with a hot girl to look for a kid. I was a kid at the time this movie came out. I thought, how cool. Axel Foley is protecting a kid. That means he likes kids. That's awesome. I don't know. I think that just connected me more to the movie. It's got the same style and wit and feel of an Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours type of movie. But then you add in the mystical elements, demons, ghosts, superpowers, and it becomes a whole other thing. This is essentially Golden Child. It's essentially Beverly Hills Cop meets Big Trouble in Little China. How can you go wrong? If you've never seen Golden Child, pick this up. Here on Blu-ray, it looks better than ever. And you even get some special features. You get an original making of featurette, an old one, which has never been seen. That wasn't on the VHS. Then you get it's in two parts, that featurette. It's The Chosen One and Daggers, Design, and Demons. And then you get a trailer. Pretty great stuff. I loved revisiting this movie. I saw it with Mistress Chaos. She'd never seen it before. It wasn't her cup of tea. I think it was because of the mysticism kind of threw her off. But I will say the slip is a little loose. Right now it's at an angle, so it's holding the case. But if I were to straighten it, the movie falls out. So, weird design, but it's fine. We accept it. We accept it because it's Golden Child on Blu-ray. I'm very happy to have this. I'm very happy to have it with Palm Child. It was a great week to get these two beautiful 80s films that were a part of my childhood in my collection in the best way possible with this awkward poster here. Golden Child, baby! Yeah! Still waiting, still waiting. But I won't keep you waiting any longer, my friend. Let's call it a day. Thank you for joining me on this rather intimate installment of Physical Media Review Roundup here. The party continues over on Patreon. That's where the after party will be. I hope to see you there. I've got 2 more amazing titles to discuss with you over on Patreon. But for now, I'm going to bid you adieu. Got to keep my eye on this, and hopefully I'll be a success. I will give you an update down the road in a future episode, and hopefully I'll have some success. Okay, my friend, until we meet again, remember, I love you. As a matter of fact, I love you just the way you are. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you do, you'll see me tomorrow. I'll be here. I hope you will be as well, because I remain to be continued.